I first got started in clothing, everybody said that the market is oversaturated, and it is, right? There's so many players on the game. You just go on Instagram, you get on YouTube, scroll a little bit, and you're going to see 10,000 different brands trying to sell you clothes, streetwear brands. And the big thing now is that, the barrier to entry for everything that we do nowadays is just so low that everybody can get in, right? And there's so many different people out there. And so the one thing that I really wanted to do with this video was break down that limiting belief that there is no space or room for you, because although many markets are oversaturated, there are truths that you do have to understand when it comes to quote unquote these markets. And whether you're trying to, start content, or you are trying to build a business or a clothing brand like me, or whatever you got going on, man, every market is quote unquote oversaturated. But, if you're trying to start a YouTube channel, you do have to understand these core principles and these core truths. And I hope what I'm going to go through today is going to help you change your mentality, your mindset, your ability to really break down this thought process that there is no room for you. So with that being said, let's get into it. The first point, all right, and the most important one of all of them, all right. Everybody will say that your market is oversaturated, and I might keep going back to clothing because everybody can relate to this. The truth is, the market is oversaturated with a bunch of fucking amateurs. Okay? 90% of people that are doing the things that you want to do suck. They're inconsistent. They haven't mastered their craft. They don't really have a long-term outlook. They don't really want to do anything for the future. It's just a very short-term, like, oh, this is like my short-term grab. This is 90. I say 90%, and I'm being generous. This is probably like 99% of people. The market is oversaturated with people who are absolute dog water at what they do, okay? Now, you might not feel that. You might be like, oh, these people are so successful, and they're making 6, maybe 5, 6 figures in a year. Maybe they're making 6 figures in a month. And you're like, oh my God, like, what's happening? You do have to understand that like, you can sell anything, bro. Like, in business, you can sell a fucking pen. You can get views on any type of video. You can do anything, but, like, is there actual substance to it? That's what matters. And most of the time, these players in the game that are quote unquote oversaturating your market are not very good, and they don't have long-term outlook that will build substance for their business, their brand, their channel for the long term, right? So like many people set out and they just create content. They're like, I'm a content creator. And it's like, where's this leading the consumers to? Where's this leading the people who are, watching your content to? Like, is this going to benefit their lives, or is this going to take away from their lives? These are things that people don't ask themselves. And so they go down a path, and then eventually these people just die off because there's nothing of substance in these places that people are at, right? And you could be pretty, you could be beautiful, you could do the whole shebang, but at the end of the day, you do have to offer something of real tangible value, whether it's entertainment or whatever it might be, right? So I just want to bring this up, man. Like, whatever industry you're in, I don't want to get too sidetracked. You are probably an amateur as well, all right, if you want to start. And you just have to understand there's a pyramid, there's a hierarchy. Everybody starts at the bottom. Everybody. The Nike started at the bottom. Everybody starts at the bottom. Everybody starts at this amateur freaking phase right here. And majority of people are stuck here because they never try to enter the next level of this pyramid, this rung, this ladder, whatever you want to think about it. They never try to enter that next level because it takes so much more commitment, work, effort, focus, deliberation. It takes so much more energy to get to that next level of effort and work, right? And so what ends up happening is that everybody says it's oversaturated because they're on the bottom level. They're on the bottom level. Everybody there is screaming. There's 1,000 people there screaming, buy my product, watch my channel, blah. And none of them have even thought to just improve their own game over and over and over so that they can get to the next level, because it's hard. And so my main point amongst all of this is that, yes, your market is oversaturated. It might be, right? I'm in clothing. This shit is way oversaturated. 90% of the people fucking suck at what they do. And 90% of the people aren't willing to put their head down and grow and build and learn in the space that they're in so that they can climb that next rung, because it's very, very hard. And so moving into 2025, the one thing that I recommend you do, man, if you're trying to build something legit for yourself, and I mean, this is just the simplified, it's very simple, but it's not easy. Put your head into the fucking work, man, and just get better, improve, become a master of a game. Nobody can take that away from you. You can't buy that. You can't change your way out to that. Like, Just like going to the gym, just like getting a freaking jacked body, you can't fake your way to that. There's no way. You have to become a master of your game to actually climb those levels. And this kind of leads into the next point, right? As long as you're improving, right, you're gonna climb this rung, this freaking pyramid, right? And that in itself is going to differentiate you from everybody else. And as you climb, there's less and less people. And so that in itself makes you less and less oversaturated because there's only so many good players in the game. Okay? And those good players fucking win. They're winning. All right. Nike sells how many billions of dollars worth of clothing every year? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'm scraping to freaking sell what, like 5 figures in a month. Like Nike's selling billions of dollars. So you got to understand that there's levels. And I know this is like, I'm just putting this out into the world, but it's the truth. It's the reality. Now, the second point that I really want to bring to you guys, and it's kind of related to the first point, is that when you start to master your game, your craft, your own personal ability as a founder, as a channel, like what you bring to the table, your authentic self, this is like so important for me and like everything that I speak. I preach on this all the time. The superpower is you. So if you can hone in on that, you just automatically differentiate yourself from everybody else because nobody can replicate you. It's impossible. It's impossible to replicate you. You have to figure out how to hone in on this, connect with you, and then you just automatically go into a lane of your own. And just being in a lane of your own makes you valuable. So you have to understand that, like, yes, mastery is important. Yes, development of your craft and your skill set is very important. Most people, 90% of people, won't ever try that. But you do also have to understand the connection with yourself, your game, and also mastering who you are. Connecting with your most authentic self is automatically going to put you in a lane of your own. And that in itself is valuable. That in itself will keep you out of a quote unquote oversaturated market who's just screaming, buy my shit. So whether you're trying to start a YouTube channel or you're trying to build a business, it doesn't matter. As long as you can connect, be quote unquote authentic. And I know that's just a buzzword where people throw that around, but it's the truth, man. Like, what do you feel? How do you like talk your shit, man? If you're weird a little bit and people don't fuck with it, who cares, man? Because there's going to be people who fuck with it. You just have to understand that, like, you have to like be you, man. That is the superpower. There's no other way to say it. If you can hone in on you, if you can accurately like connect with yourself and then put that out into the world, no matter what you do, you're going to be in a lane of your own and nobody can compete with that. Plain and simple. So I think those are my two kind of steps moving into 2025 that I really want you to think about, myself as well, right? If you feel like there's no space for me, the market is oversaturated, I can't really do it, and maybe you're already in the game, but you feel like there's so many players and maybe that's the reason you're not successful, it's not the case, all right? Put your head down. 2025, we get into freaking work, all right? Build on the skill set, number one. Build on who you are, number two, okay? Build on the skill set, build on your craft, build on your game. How are you going to become more effective as a business? How are you going to let more people know about your shit? How are you going to sell your product more effectively and also care about the consumer? And then at the end of it, how are you going to connect with your message better? How are you going to connect with yourself better? How are you going to connect with your vision and your mission as a business better? How are you going to connect with your audience better? By being more of yourself. You know what I'm saying? That those things really, really do matter. And people don't see it like that because it's very kind of taboo. It's all up in the air. When I say this, people are like, yeah, right. Like, it's just like, I understand that. How do I act on it? You improve your skill set and you improve your connection with yourself. You be more like yourself. Expansion and expression. This is just like the single-handedly most important thing that my business runs off of and I run off of. This is my philosophy of life. If you can expand on yourself, skills, everything else, mentality, body, mind, everything, bro. Expand your barriers, your walls of who you are, and then you can express authentically. You just basically you become undefined, and nobody can compete with that. So that's really, like, in short, my little tangent on what Undefined is really about and the central ethos around it. But all that being said, man, I hope you guys understand what I meant to say here. I hope there was something in there that could positively change your perception on what it takes. But do understand that there's nothing easy about this game. You know what I'm saying? There are 1,000 players who are doing the same thing that you want to do. And you do have to understand, to get better, You do have to separate yourself through skills and then separate yourself by being authentically yourself. And that takes a lot of fucking work. Don't ever let anybody tell you, oh man, I'm just going to wake up one day and just be myself. You do have to, there's going to be some things where you're going to have to freaking churn. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to develop yourself. You're going to have to understand what you care about and what you don't care about. And it's not going to be overnight. It's something that you create with time. So with that being said, please commit to that in 2025. I love y'all to death. This was my little ramble here on this Thursday, December something. I don't even know. I think it's the 18th day of I think it's December 19th actually right now. But we only got a few more days of 2024. We're going out with a bang. So I'm excited for next year. I hope you guys are too. I'll quit yapping. Bye.